morning again from Munich, and as promised, there's the update on my Oncidium sotoanum, and if my laptop could just shut up, that would be nice. Thank you. Yeah, it's now a week after the last video, although I just posted it yesterday, but I had some complications. Let's leave it at that with the upload. I tried it 4 or 5 times and it never worked. It was a big file though, because I now went mad and actually recorded in 1080p. Anyways, the plant here. That's the important thing. That's why you're here, not my waffling. Yeah, I think I don't have to say anything about it. They're all over the place. And I've read that these spikes actually can get about 2 feet long, 60 centimeters. Yeah, they're not quite as long, which is good, because yeah, they're already all over the place. They are hanging in the dendrobium here, which has also a spike, as you can see, which is growing at a hell of a rate. It doesn't take a whole growing season to actually bloom like this here. But oh well, with such a show, you are forgiven. I'm so in love with these blooms. You know, if I could marry blooms, they would be on the top of the list, I guess. Okay, that's weird. But yeah. Yeah, and here's the catasetum. You can see the growth. Remember the last video? I also showed this, and this is a week after this growth doubled in size. Enough said. But I'm actually curious about how its root system is doing. Let's see. Oh, don't you fall off. Okay, it drips. Goodness me. What happened there? Look at that. Oh my god. That's a lot of new root tips. So, yeah, we could classify this as doing well. Ugh, it's heavy. Boy, this is heavy. Now I have to do some washing up. Anyways. Yeah, that's a big, healthy plant. Oh my goodness, will take over the world. And, well, I actually should... Ouch! Oh, that was the flippin' corner. Ow. Oh, hell, that hurts. Anyways. Yeah, this little phalaenopsis here has taken its time to actually recover from the drastic repot I've done. I just plonked it in lacquer beads. But you can see roots all over the place, growing down into the media. So I would class lacquer beads as quite suitable for your run-of-the-mill phalaenopsis hybrids. If you can... Now, I wouldn't even say if you're willing to water often, because this hasn't been watered in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Just sits there, keeps getting forgotten. But interesting part, yeah, the blooms are actually gone, but this is an incredibly, I would call it brancher. If this is a word, I don't think it is, but it is now. Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 branches, and, not to be forgotten, another flower spike. This thing is quite floriferous, even for a phalaenopsis hybrid. This, I haven't seen anything like it. You know, my other phalaenopsis hybrid, which is at my workplace, so I can't show that, and I won't... let's put it like that. It's an engineering company, and they are highly, highly sensitive when it comes to photographing or videoing there, even in the bureaus where there's actually nothing secret to see, but yeah, don't want to push my luck there. This has the plant that is at my workplace there. It has taken a break, or it always takes breaks between bloomings. It makes a spike, or it produces a spike, it blooms for a month, then the spike goes, and the plant simply grows. 2 or 3 leaves, and then another spike comes up. But this thing here is more of a continuous bloomer and spike producer, which is nice, and the blooms are also quite nice. Yeah, what have we now? This unruly, no, it's not unruly, but this is my Paphiopedilum Lady Isabel, which is a Rothschildianum cross. It's Paphiopedilum Rothschildianum crossed with Stony. And this had a root growing right through the bottom of the pot. Of course, there's always this one root that straightly finds that the damn holes in the pot and goes out of it. And with paths, the roots are precious. Especially with this path, because Rothschildianum crosses are quite expensive. And slow. All it has done since I got it at the end of June is grow this one leaf here. But it's a healthy plant, it looks good, and I repotted it, and then the root came just straight out, so it seemed to have like that. So I'm actually quite pleased. And another advantage of it being a slow grower, I can actually accommodate it here. Probably until I finish my studies and get a proper flat, where I have actually space to accommodate a Rothschildianum, because Paphiopedilum Rothschildianum is a giant. If you don't believe me, go over to Ed's Orchids. You don't know him? Shame on you. Subscribe to him. He is like Paphiopedilum King here on YouTube, and he has a whole greenhouse full of them. They are monsters. They are absolute monsters. But they have beautiful blooms, so yeah. You kind of put up with that. So yeah, I now actually have an orchid in Ceramus, which I stated in my last video I wouldn't never do. Never ever do. Oh. Yeah, but well, it's a bit of improvising. Just to keep that root going. So yeah. And my Signotus Wine Delight. I don't know. You can see the new growth is looking good, but I don't know. The roots aren't looking too hot. The ones that are in the pot are okay, but the very tops, or where it comes out of the bulb, they don't look too good. But it's even growing another new leaf. And the bulb is nice and fat, and it's taller than the old one, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, out of my Catasetum, it's the worst looking. Yeah, I hope I will get some blooms actually this year, but that's to be seen. Well, if it doesn't flower, it gets to my mom. She has a nice, warm living room. I actually have to send all the plants that I promised to send her. Among them is the Cedirea japonica here, which is chucking out nice new roots here. And yeah, there's Oncidium sotoanum again. That's all over the place. Yeah, otherwise, that's quite it. Yeah, my Moniara, he is going into dormancy, I guess. So I've stopped watering for now. I've given it a last little drink. And that's all that it gets until I see that the bulbs are shriveling. It's a bit early, I think, to go into dormancy. But yeah, the bulb is nice and mature, so no real loss of the growing season. If the bulb was immature, I would be worried. But so, yeah, I just go with the plant, as I always do. I won't force anything. Oh, yeah, that was the wire. And here you have it. Ugh. It's even difficult to get it all in one shot. And let me tell you, the fragrance on this is heavenly. Really, really heavenly. Okay, that nearly dropped my phone. So now, I think that's a nice ending shot. And I'll leave it at that. And of course I forgot something. We always forget something when filming. I actually just wanted to show you how I water my orchids, or the majority of my small pots, and that mostly contain species orchids or primary hybrids or something like that. And what I use is simply this dishwashing liquid bottle that once contained dishwashing liquid. Choose the grammatically correct version, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, this contains, unfortunately, some algae, but this is a mixture of distilled water with a bit of tap water, because I don't like the thought of actually just using pure water, because the distilled water has nothing in it, and the problem with that is, I think most of you are familiar with the principle of osmosis. So you have, for example, a plant cell in the root, which contains quite a bit. There's water, is some other stuff, salts, minerals, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then you pour the pure water on it. Now what now will happen, you have a high concentration of stuff in the root and no concentration basically in the water. And what now will happen is the concentration will try to balance out. So the water would suck out nutrients and minerals out of the cells. I don't know if that's really the proper explanation, but that's how my little knowledge of biology works. So I always add a bit of tap water. It's a relation of about, I think, 3 or 4 parts of distilled water and 1 part tap water, which is also useful because I can stretch the distilled water, so I don't use it up that much. But yeah, I have the 5-liter bottle, and I have that had over the whole summer now. So yeah, that's not, and it's cheap. It's 2 liters for 5 liters. 2 liters for 5 liters. What am I saying? 2 euros for 5 liters. So now that that's over with, I'll just show you. And the useful thing about this bottle is the nozzle at the top. I just squeeze a little. Now that's a bit difficult now, doing it while looking through the camera on my phone. But yeah, that's basically how I do it. Because it's a 2-handed job. So yeah. And this is Angrecum didieri. That's how I made my mind on how to pronounce it. Yep, nice. And the same with the little Phalaenopsis here. Just go on the leaf and squeeze out a little, so I can avoid getting water in the crowns, which is the #1 reason of killing Phalaenopsis, I guess, letting water sit in the crowns. Yeah, and I actually have to show that to my boyfriend too, how and which plants he does have to water, because in the middle of November I'll be on a little vacation. Sort of vacation. I'll leave it at that. It's a bit of a family thing. It has no place here. But yeah, I'll be on the Canary Islands, on one of the Canary Islands. Yeah, which is nice, and I'm very excited about it, because believe it or not, this will also be my first proper flight. Yeah, I know what you think. Girl, you are so obsessed with aviation and have never ever been on an aircraft? Shame on you. Well, that's not completely true. Once I have been in an Airbus A340 when it was standing in the hangar. So I have been on a passenger aircraft before, and I have actually flown on a glider. And I think if you have ever been on a glider on a quite windy day, you can say that you have flown, because this was quite a wild ride. Especially because the pilot was, how do I put it? He was very eager to show me how cool and nice doing gliding is. And yeah, he exaggerated a bit because he did a parabolic flight without warning me. Now a parabolic flight works like that. You just point the nose down, so you do a nose dive for a bit, then pull up again. So you do this, motion here, and if you are at the bottom of the parabol, you know, this thingy, this curve, you are weightless. There are 0 G's. And yeah, it was quite crazy because one moment you are staring directly to the ground, which was very unsettling. And then suddenly a water bottle, which was loose in the cockpit there, simply levitates in front of your face. There are some things that going through your mind. Among these is the little question, am I dead? Am I dead? Am I a dad? No, I'm not a dad. That's not possible. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, I hope that my flight in November will not be this crazy and the pilot is a bit better mannered. But I think he will. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not going to the Canary Islands where this 747 is about to land, but I think at the moment it's not the nicest place in the world after they have been wrecked by several hurricanes, I guess. Oh well, that's nature for you. It's merciless. Simply merciless. So don't be romantic about it. It's a horrible place sometimes. Oh yeah, but I landed on that. Enough waffling for today. And maybe see you next time. Bye bye.